Jean Daguilar here with Better Homes and Gardens, sitting here with Jillian Donalson of Chesmar Homes. Now, we've had a great conversation in the past, Jillian,
Yes.
but you have told me some very interesting things on why consumers should look at home ownership on a timeline like now, the present,
Yes.
versus waiting.
Yes.
History kind of tells us that it's now.
Absolutely.
But can you give us some data and just kind of talk us through that a little bit to
Yeah.
help folks understand that timing?
So I have had the pleasure of being in this industry and selling new construction for 24 years, which is crazy. I can't believe
Wow.
I've been doing this that long. And I've seen it all, right? I've seen the tumultuousness of all the interest rates, but the one steady thing that I have seen the entire time that I've been selling homes are prices going up, 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 up,
Yes.
up, right? And
Yes.
I have that perspective, but a lot of my customers coming in know nothing about that. And so I was actually inspired to kind of do a little research and do a deep dive and find out, okay, where were interest rates and purchase prices back in starting at 1980? Because we always hear about the 80s and how interest rates were in the teens. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Versus now, because I think a lot of buyers got very we got spoiled during COVID to those low interest rates, although there was a buying frenzy. And so it pushed prices up. And those prices have never gone down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they never do. So I think that's, especially in the Houston market, there might be markets like California or Florida or Arizona where they had really high highs and then they dropped. But Houston really isn't like that because of the diversity of our industries, because of all the relocation that we consistently have and all the growth. We have so much land that we just keep growing outward and outward and outward.
We have people moving here from all over the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So for us, we're pretty steady. But okay, so Jean, let's do a little fun fact.
Here we go.
Let me ask you, what do you think the average interest rate was starting in 1980?
In 1980, I think we were probably still worried about oil prices and gas
Yes.
like we are today.
Yes.
Oh, it had to have been high.
It was high.
So
it was
10%?
It was on average 16.64% of an interest rate.
It was, oh my God. Were
Now,
they buying houses with their credit cards?
You would think. Well, if I remember correctly, credit cards were like a novelty.
Yeah,
they had to do the little carbon copy.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
But
girl, don't tell my age now.
Right? I know, me neither. So let me ask you, what do you think an average sales price was?
Average sales price in the 80s, I was nowhere near thinking about buying a house.
Me neither.
Less than $100,000.
Okay, yes. This is going to shock you. $47,000 was the average purchase price.
Nationwide?
Yes, in 1980.
47,000.
Yes, which sounds to us like that is like peanuts. I'd buy like 10 of those.
That's like a camper price.
Exactly. But back then, that wasn't low. That was a very, very high price. Especially in conjunction with a 16.64% interest rate.
Yes, right.
All right, so let's so it's funny.
So 16% and 47,000
was the average. Yep, it's pretty wild. Okay, so 2002 is when I got into the business, but it was almost into 2003. So let's look at 2003. What do we think the average interest rate was back then?
2003, it had to have been 8% or so.
Okay. Honestly, I thought the same thing because I remember back then when I sold homes, we had a 1% rule of thumb. If they were buying a $100,000 home, that home was $1,000 per month for taxes, property interest, property taxes, and interest rate. But actually, it was about 6%. So there was quite a dip. So from 1980 to 2003, there was a significant dip in the interest rate.
Wow.
Kind of interesting. Yeah. Now let's talk about 2009. 2009 is an important year because that was the year after 2008.
After the crash.
Yes, when lending obviously completely changed. Because unfortunately there was a lot of predatory lending. Yeah. Anyone could state their income and get a loan. I remember those days. They
Yep.
were kind of good, but it caused a lot of foreclosures.
Yes, absolutely.
So we went from one end of the spectrum where anyone could get a loan to the other end of the spectrum where you had to be perfect to get a loan.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so back then, an average sales price in 2009 was $225,000. You would have thought in a recession that that price went down. It did not go down. So from 2003, we went from 125,000 of an average sales price to 2009, 6 years later, to 225,000 of an average sales price. That price did not go down, it kept going up. So now let's jump 10 years forward to.
So you're showing me this trend. I'm already starting to feel it
Yes.
now. My face is getting warm, even though the lighting is
Yes,
perfect.
yes. So let's talk about 2019 before COVID. Where were
Right,
we? Where
right.
were we? Right?
Oh, well, things were going pretty good.
Yeah. So we actually things were going really well. So we had an average interest rate of 3.9%. So moral of the story is, while I don't think we can get into the 2%ers unless you're doing like a 10-year or 15-year term loan, there is still hope to get back into the low 4s and the upper 3s at some point, right? The interest rates are going like this.
Yeah,
but
from your mouth.
Yes. However, in 2019, the average sales price went to $321,000.
That's the train I think I'm feeling where you're
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
So we have really been going from the 80s, 40,000 plus, and we're already in 3,000, 300,000.
Exactly. And today, 2026, that is 7 years later, an average sales price is $460,000. Wow. And our interest rate is 6.22. Wow. Yeah. So, I mean, really, I think the moral of the story is that I try and share with people, do not buy a home because of an interest rate. Don't wait to buy your dream home because of an interest rate. Yeah. What is most important is your purchase price. And every year that you wait, you're adding at least $25,000 to your purchase price.
That history is the proof.
It is. And people forget. I think people go in thinking that they're going to keep their mortgage for 30 years. The average time that someone holds on to their mortgage is 7 years. Yeah. At some point, they're going to refinance for various reasons. It might be a cash out to do a project on their home. It might be they started out as an FHA and they want to mitigate their mortgage insurance because now they can prove that they have more value in their home after 7 years. Yeah. So people forget that they will refinance. Yeah. And so
that is so true.
That purchase price is forever. Yep. That never changes. Yep. However, your interest rate, that's interchangeable.
Wow. Well, that's really, really good tips and very good history to remind us, right, of that history and people who may not know. So I'll make sure to post that. Thank you so much, Jillian.
You're welcome.
Always full of education.
Happy to help.
Thank you. Jillian Donalson with Chesmar Homes. Thank you. Thanks for watching.